So here's a head-scratching question for the Reformed, the Tulip Calvinist people. The question has to do with limited atonement and unlimited atonement. I believe that the Calvinist or the Reformer would teach that, it's particular, it's limited, it only saves the elect. It's not a benefit or applied in any other way to anyone else, at least not for salvation. Now, here's my question. 1 Corinthians 15, verses 20 through 24, how come all humans, even the reprobate, even the hellbound, come back to life? How come they partake in Jesus' life-giving bodily resurrection? Now you might say, well, they just face death. Okay, but what's the basis? What's the reason? Why would any reprobate come back to life? Why would they go through the same system as the believer? Was it because that's how good Jesus' work was? Was his work universal in scope? Was it unlimited in every facet? Not only because it removes the sin problem for all humanity, Acts 4:12, Romans 5:12 through 20, but it also buys a new body. His resurrection was so good that God said, you know what? I'll bring everybody back to life. I'll give them all a new body. That's the plan. And if you don't believe me, it's right here. You can also see John 5:19 through 27, somewhere in there. Jesus says everyone's coming back to life. And right here, Paul reminds us that everyone's coming back to life for bodily resurrection. Again, the question, I don't even know what the head scratcher is. I want to know how the Calvinist Reformed Tulip people handle this one. Why does everybody come back to bodily resurrection life, even if it's to face death again? How do they get a new body and go to hell? Isn't it because Jesus did the work and he satisfied everything under God's plan? But each in turn, Christ comes first, then the end will come. He hands the king over. It's right here. So, for since the death came through a man, the resurrection, the dead comes also through a man. For as in Adam all die, so in Christ all are to be made alive. Does this throw a hole in atonement? Not only atonement, but what is the basis? That's my question. What is the basis for why all humans, the reprobate and the heaven-bound, the hell-bound and the heaven-bound, why do they come back to life? Why do they get a bodily resurrection if not for Jesus Christ?